Alright, let's lay it out straight. The story of who ruled India isn't just a list of kings and dates. It's chaos, intrigue, wild ambition, and more palace backstabbing than an average season of Game of Thrones. Power here is this slippery, coveted thing, and for about 4,000 years, it's been constantly slipping from one hand to another. Hindu chieftains, Buddhist emperors, Muslim sultans, and eventually the British. Every empire tried to put its stamp on the place, but none, not a single one, held on to it forever. So here's the ride we're taking. From the world's earliest urban planners to the last viceroy ordering his tea on the colonial veranda, pausing at spectacles and betrayals you genuinely don't want to miss. We start with the Indus Valley folks, Harappa and Mohenjo-Daro, about the same time as the pharaohs were building their pyramids. These were not sword-swinging conquerors, but urban nerds. Think toilets, grid cities, canals. We have fewer clues about their actual rulers. No grand palaces discovered, and not a single king's name we know for sure. Once they fade out, fast forward to the Vedic Age. Here you get tribal chiefs, rajas, ruling little pockets of land, often fighting their power-hungry cousins and scribbling down everything in Sanskrit. Couple centuries and those tribes morph into the big, splashy Mahajanapadas, 16 ambitious kingdoms brawling near the Ganges. Spoiler, only one would unite them all. That's Magadha, and a local prince named Chandragupta Maurya. With help from an advisor who could out-scheme Littlefinger, Chanakya, does what no one else manages. Chandragupta kicks out Alexander the Great's leftovers, carves out an empire stretching from Afghanistan to Bengal, and hands over the reins to his grandson, Ashoka. Now Ashoka starts as a bloodthirsty guy, then does a shocking 180 after the carnage at Kalinga. He pivots to Buddhism, and soon you've got pillars and rocks everywhere announcing things like, "Don't murder, be kind." In the words of Professor Ramila Thapar, Ashoka's embrace of Buddhism was as radical as any detox in history. But empires stagger and fall. After Ashoka, lots of ambitious families fight to fill the power vacuum. From the nationalist Guptas, who toss math and art across the subcontinent, to Harshavardhana, who briefly brings order to North India. And the southern dynasties, Cholas, Cheras, Pandyas, making mad bank off the sea trade. Jump to year 1000. Now the invaders show up with a vengeance. The Delhi Sultanate rises after Turkish and Afghan warlords blitz through Khyber Pass, building dynasties like the Khaljis and Tughlaqs. The story gets wilder when the Mongol-blooded Mughals, led by Babur, trounce the sultans in the 16th century. His grandson Akbar becomes the legend, uniting India, marrying Rajput princesses, and running open-minded debates in his fancy palace. He builds an empire so wealthy, the French traveler François Bernier claims the Mughal emperor's court outshone Versailles. Still, keep your eyes on the churn. After Aurangzeb stomps out old rulers and stretches the empire even bigger, it gets too bloated. His death marks a scramble. Regional big shots like the Marathas, Sikhs, and the Nizams start carving up pieces for themselves. Lightning strike. Here come the Europeans. First Portuguese, then French, but none beat the British, who learned the ultimate lesson. Rule through alliances, stick some puppet nawabs in charge, and rake in unimaginable riches. There's a legitimate debate if the British gave India order or looted the place blind. Historians like William Dalrymple are pretty blunt, the latter. The British Raj cements its grip after the brutal 1857 revolt, installing Queen Victoria as Empress and riding that all the way to partition in 1947 when India finally yanks back its independence. Quick checkpoint. So far, we've watched tribal chiefs balloon into empires, foreign invasions flip everything, and in each round, the game of power resets. Want more stories where improbable underdogs end up in charge or get knocked out in spectacular fashion? If that's your jam, hit subscribe because the next domino falls fast in these histories. Anyway, here's the thing that gets me. No dynasty, no British lord, no spiritual king actually owned India for long. Each left fingerprints, sure, temples, mosques, gritty old forts, street foods, even languages. But as soon as you think someone's settled in for good, the wind changes. Today, those ancient thrones are just stone and dust. But sometimes, walking those ruined ramparts or looking at India's mashed-up map, you can feel echoes of all those big dreams and failed grabs for glory, like the world's most restless game of musical chairs that still refuses to end.